When you apply for any job, one of the rounds of interview that you need to face essentially is that of a personal interview. The purposes of questions asked in this round are two. One, to understand you as a person, and two, to evaluate your ability to perform the job under discussion. Many of the candidates who clear the core interview actually fail in the personal round of interview. So, this audio deals with the top 85 questions you can expect to be asked at any personal interview you face. We also provide you an easy approach to deal with these most common but tricky questions. Before we actually start, we would like to emphasize upon the importance of reading the job notification properly, matching your skill sets and personal qualities to the requirement, and getting ready with the answers to the anticipated questions. So, here we go with the 85 questions and ways to deal with them. First question. Did you face any difficulty in finding this place? Before starting the actual interview, the interviewer usually tries to strike a communication and ease out any tension that the candidate might be feeling. This is one of those questions. So, take a deep breath, make yourself comfortable and say no with a smile on your face. You are now ready for the actual interview. The next question. Tell me something about yourself. This is usually the first formal question you can expect at any personal interview. This question gives you an opportunity to take the charge of the interview and take it in the direction you want. However, if you go unprepared, you may land up speaking into your biography. So, go prepared to answer these questions. If you are an experienced candidate, you can answer this question by providing some information about your work experience, your skill set, educational qualifications, and anything interesting that you did recently. If you are a fresh graduate, you can provide some information about your educational qualifications, academic projects you did, any extracurricular activities. You can also talk about the basic qualities you possess, which are usually expected in a fresher, like ability to learn quickly, take instructions effectively, good communication and interpersonal skills, etc. The trick to provoke the next desired question is to put a full stop at the right place. For example, if you are a web developer and you recently worked on Drupal, you can say something like, recently I developed a website using Drupal. It was quite an interesting and challenging job to do, but I enjoyed it thoroughly. The next obvious question you can expect from here is, what kind of challenges? So, you can anticipate the question, answer it, and take the interview in the direction you want. The next question, why do you want to quit your present job? You may actually have n number of reasons to quit your present job. Maybe you don't get well along with your boss, or your salary is too less. But it's not a good idea to make any derogatory remarks about your present company or manager during an interview. Try to provide a more practical answer, like, my present company is not able to offer me further growth opportunities. I have a feeling that it's time for me to grow up in the hierarchy and take more responsibilities. And that is the reason I'm looking out for a new job. Now, you can go on to relate the job requirements with your experience, personal qualities and aspirations, and tell them that since my candidature meets these requirements and there's a potential to grow, I'm interested in taking up this job. The next question. Tell us some of your strengths. Interpret this question as, what is your greatest relevant strength, or why should we hire you? So offer them a strength which they are willing to buy. Your answer to this question actually demonstrates your preparation for the interview. The same set of strengths can't be sold at every interview. This question needs you to tailor make your answer as per the requirement of the position you are being interviewed for. So, before every interview, analyze the requirements of the role carefully and list out the qualities required to perform that role. Now, make a list of the qualities you possess and match them with the requirements. You can sell these qualities as your strength for the role. Question number 5. Tell us some of your weaknesses. Every human being has weaknesses. So it is perfectly okay for you to have some too. But this is a very common question which increases the anxiety level of the candidates. The interviewer is actually not even interested in knowing your weaknesses unless it is something which will directly affect the work. What he is interested in is in the way you deal with this question. Depending upon the mood of the discussion, I would suggest the 3 ways to deal with this question. 1. If the interview is proceeding in a light mood, you can use your sense of humor and get out of this question by saying something like, ice creams. Yes, ice creams are my weaknesses. Of course, you have to accompany it with the right body language. 2. If it is a serious discussion, offer a weakness which doesn't relate directly to the job under discussion. For example, you can say, I have been using a camera since childhood, but I don't know how to repair it. If it is spoiled, I would need to take it to an expert. 3. Understand the requirement of the role properly and say that others accuse you of possessing some weakness, but you think it is important for your work. For example, if you have applied for the role of an accountant, which needs you to possess a good eye for detail, you can say, my colleagues actually accuse me of looking too much into the details while dealing with accounts. But I know very well that any details overlooked now can become a big problem later. So I'm happy to possess this weakness as I don't want to get into a problem later on. The next question. Why do you think should we take you for this job? Most of the candidates would actually get nervous to hear this question. However, if you go prepared, you will be able to deal with it very easily. The actual answer to this question lies in the preparation you did before the interview. So, research and understand the requirements of the position very well. 2. Map them to your skill set and personal qualities. And this is the reason why the recruiter should hire you. Let's take an example here. If you have applied to a position for a sales professional who has a good knowledge of various drugs, the qualities you can sell are your communication and negotiation skills, your knowledge and experience in the pharmaceutical industry, or your degree in pharmacy. If you are a fresh graduate, in addition to your educational qualifications, you can talk about your ability to learn quickly, your ability to carry out the instructions effectively, and ability to work in a team. These are some of the qualities that an employer looks for in a fresh candidate. If the job needs you to deal with any new things or possess any new qualities, you can say that you are always open to learn new things, take up new challenges and develop new qualities. Maybe you can quote an example from the past also. The next question. You have worked with your current company for quite a long time. Why? There are many people in this world who do not change their jobs for years. And when they go looking out for a new employer, this is one of the most common questions they face. Some people actually might look upon staying with the same employer for long as being unambitious. A good answer to this question can be something like, yes, you're right. I stayed with my last employer for almost 5 years. But I was continuously growing in the company, doing new things, handling bigger challenges and responsibilities. So I was quite happy working with them for all these years. You can go on to discuss how you grew with your last employer. Here, you have to highlight that you tackled, faced, adapted and conquered changing conditions at your present firm. Since you have held many different responsibilities and adapted easily, you don't see any problem in adjusting to new challenging environment. The next question. Have you ever felt being overloaded with work? How did you deal with it? Pressure is an inseparable part of business. However, it can take different forms. At times, it will be the pressure of improving your performance, while at others, it could be the pressure of meeting the deadlines or some pressure at home. At some point of time, all of us feel pressured. So, the purpose of this question is not to see whether you feel pressured or not. The deeper purpose of the question is to see how do you deal with the pressure. So discuss the strategies like prioritizing the work, taking quick actions, striking of the completed tasks and delegation etc. or anything else you do to handle the work pressure. Question number 9. Why do you want to work for our company? Start by discussing the profile you have applied for and go on to say that you believe the organization would provide an opportunity to enhance your knowledge and help you grow professionally. The next question. What do you know about us? Study the company and its business a bit before appearing for the interview. You are not expected to know everything inside out, but having a fair idea about the company and its business makes you appear interested in the position. Your answer to this question again demonstrates your preparation and level of interest in the company. So go through the annual reports, the corporate newsletters, and contacts you know at the company. Advertisements, articles about the company in the newspapers or trade press could also be the good sources of information. Question number 11. You do not have all the experience we need for this position. How would you compensate for it? It is actually not possible for a candidate to have all the experience an employer requires. Even if you match yourself up to the expectations at one front, you might lack at other fronts, and it is absolutely fine. The best way to deal with this question is to analyze the requirements of the position very well and match your skills as close to them as possible. If something is still left untouched, offer your quick grasping power and ability to learn quickly as a solution. You can back it up with an example from the past. Question number 12. Why haven't you got a job yet? This question will usually arise if it has been some time since you finished your studies and are still in the market without a job. You can say that I have been offered some tempting positions in the last few days but had to turn them down as I did not find them right for my candidature. You can follow it up with some examples. The next question. What do you do to improve your knowledge? It is extremely important to keep yourself abreast with the new developments in the industry. This needs you to take some time out of your work schedule so that you can keep sharpening your saw. To answer this question, you can tell the recruiter about the forums you keep visiting, blogs, newspapers, magazines you read. You can also discuss about any new courses you did recently. Question number 14. Are you an introvert or an extrovert? Being on either of the extremes at work can be bad for you and the company. Your behavior at work should be as per the requirement. To answer this question, you can say something like, I behave as per the requirement of the situation. For example, if I am representing the company at an event which requires me to talk to a lot of people, I become an extrovert. While if there is some serious issue under discussion, I think quietly and deeply on it. The next question. Are you comfortable working in a team? Most of the job that you take will need you to work in a team. So the only answer to this question can be, yes, I am comfortable working in a team. If you have any problems in working as a team, it is important to work on them and develop yourself as a